Hi everybody, welcome to Aimee Nolte Music. Today is April 17th and it's the day that my fourth album, Lighten Up, is available for pre-sale. And if you watch this after April 24th, 2020, then it's fully released. This album is called Lighten Up for several reasons. One of them is just because it's a brighter, happier, kind of upbeat album. Another is because several of the songs mention moonlight, and that's just kind of a coincidence. But there's songs that I've chosen to put on the album, mostly standards, that are just comfortable to me, and I feel at home, and I know these songs like the back of my hand. I've been playing them so long. And I'm playing with my wonderful bandmates, Bruce Lett and James Yoshizawa and Mike Scott. It's my quartet, is where I'm at home, and I'm so excited for you to hear it. Today, what I wanted to do is talk to you about the piano that I recorded on, well, the studio that I recorded on, and more specifically, the reason I chose this studio, which was that it has a Yamaha C7 Pro Disklavier. My friend Jeremy Siskin told me about Tom Zink and Ming Dynasty Studios. He said that Tom's got a fabulous piano and that you're going to get along with Tom, and this is the place for you to record. So I just called up Tom and got to know him a little bit on the phone, and we kind of clicked right away. And then I started to tell Tom, I'm a singing piano player, and a problem for me in the past has been that I really like to play and sing at the same time. That's how I feel most comfortable. But it's almost impossible to do because if I sing and play at the same time, the piano mic picks up my vocals, the vocal mic picks up the piano, and it's impossible to ever go back and fix anything, for one, and it's just the sounds aren't isolated. On my last album, my engineer, David, built me this giant separator, like a partition, but right up in my face so that my microphone for my voice was here and the piano was mic'd behind it to try to get some kind of an isolation. And it was pretty good. But as I started to tell Tom this, he goes, no. He's like, I've got the answer for you. He goes, all right, so my Yamaha C7 is not only like a beautiful instrument, but it's also a Disklavier. And when I heard that, I was kind of like, yeah, I know about Disklaviers. Like, I've been in the piano showrooms before when salespeople are trying to sell their Yamaha Disklaviers to people. And it always kind of turns me off because, to me, it's like a player piano. And the reason that people buy them is so that they can kind of have a player piano. I see them in the lobbies of hotels and whatnot. But when Tom started explaining to me how his piano was going to fix my problem, I kind of did a 180 about this instrument. He goes, Aimee, this is what we'll do. He goes, all right, so when you record, we're going to put the piano in silent mode. We're going to put earphones on you and on all of your musicians who are in their own isolated booths, and you guys are going to hear a MIDI piano sound. And Tom said he just used a sound that was in the Yamaha built-in sound bank that came with the piano. He said it's called the CFX Concert Grand. So the piano won't make a sound. I'll hear myself only in my headphones. That means that my vocal mic only picks up my voice, and that's the only sound in the room. Then I'll have the option, if I make any mistakes on the piano, I would have the option to go back and fix them because the piano would be all recorded in MIDI. And I'll talk about the MIDI in a second. So I could either fix it on the piano itself if I wanted, or if I played a bad note, I could even go in and fix it on the computer just by moving the note. Then after everything's fixed, Tom said, I will put my fancy microphones on the piano when nobody's here. We'll tune the piano first and then just have the piano play itself. It'll play back everything that you played, Aimee, and we'll record it totally isolated. Boom! I was just like, oh my gosh. All right, I think that's it. And Tom is a guy who works for Yamaha a lot, so he's done a ton of recordings this way, and he's also a really good MIDI editor. And he just kind of put my mind at ease and said, Aimee, this is it for you. Like, this instrument is perfect for piano playing singers. So that's exactly what we did. I went in with the guys and we recorded everything. I listened to all the mixes that Tom sent me. There were a couple of things that I needed to go back and fix, just a couple. And one or two notes that I said, I kind of meant to play a B flat there, or I meant to play a B there, and he just moved it. Most of the time I kept my little mistakes because I want there to be that real human element, but it was nice in a couple of instances to be able to just move the note. And then when I heard the piano in the actual mix after he had actually recorded it, I mean, it's a gorgeous instrument. It's a 7'6", just short of a concert grand. Big, beautiful, sexy grand piano. What can I say? And one of the things I'm so grateful for is that, see, I did a take of one of the songs, and Tom said, when we were done, he goes, Aimee, just so you know, you don't have to hold back here today. Like you don't have to play it safe and be a little reserved in your solos because you're worried about having a bunch of takes for every song or something. He goes, you can go for it. He said, if you mess something up, you can come back and fix it. So maybe, play with a little more abandon than you normally do. And I did. So I was really grateful to be able to just go for it in the studio. I've never had that experience before because of a budget. And I was also really grateful to be able to go back and fix my vocals without having any piano bleed in the microphone. There was a little of that to be done too. Back to the Disklavier. You've probably seen the video where Jacob Collier has recorded something already on the piano, and then he plays a duet with himself. Up till this experience, for me, that was the coolest thing I had seen happen with a Yamaha Disklavier. The things I was not impressed by were like if I went over to somebody's house and they had one of them and it was like a dinner party and they bragged to me that it's like Elton John was playing their piano because their piano had come preloaded with, like a Elton John button and a Chick Corea button and whatever other piano players had recorded songs on Yamahas and given them to Yamaha for their sound bank. So I've seen that before where people are like, it's just like Elton John is playing my piano. And it is. It is, but I still didn't see the purpose of that. And I also have gone into hotel lobbies. Recently, I even saw one when I was at a college. There was just a great big gathering area with an empty piano that was being played. But to me, that's an empty feeling. I don't really want to see the piano play itself, and I didn't understand why Yamaha had made this instrument if that's all people were going to be using it for. Theoretically, if you didn't live close to a nice studio with a nice piano, you could record on your own keyboard in your own living room or wherever and send the MIDI to somebody with one of these pianos. They could let the piano play itself. You could get the beautiful piano tone. Although the MIDI from your keyboard isn't going to be nearly as advanced as the technology that is in these Yamaha Disklaviers. The pedal itself has 127 different velocity points there in Tom's studio. If I were to record myself playing my own keyboard in my own house and send it, likely it would only be an on and off position for the pedal when the MIDI comes through to whoever you send it to. And it could be okay. Maybe if you're going to, put the piano with a band or something. But if you're going to record solo piano, it's much better to be there playing the instrument in person or just a regular piano. But the intricacies are crazy. They get recorded while you play this instrument. While I play it in the studio, every single note is not only recording the velocity at which the hammer hits the string, but also the velocity at which I press the key. And even if how you can press a piano key halfway down and not have it make any sound, the Yamaha records that too. There's so many subtleties on the piano, the feathering of the pedal and the attack that you use that just get recorded super precisely. said that he does get people sending him MIDI files sometimes, and they want him to reproduce what they've played on his piano and record it. He said that it can be very tricky to edit the MIDI sometimes because the MIDI that is recorded on your piano sample in your living room, it won't be in line with the technology of the Yamaha Disklavier Pro. Pro. Yeah, Tom's piano is a C7 Disklavier Pro. Tom told me that if you were to play the piano at 127 velocity, he said it would sound like somebody took a sledgehammer and beat the keys. He said you never hear that. And the highest he's ever heard is maybe like 105 or something, and that's as loud as you would want it to be. He said I never got above a 90 when I was playing. But he said most everything happens in the range from like 50 to 60. And you'd have to have a very, very good piano sample. And on samplers, that's spread out over the entire range of the 127 velocity. But the Disklavier is way more nuanced and also way less spread out. So in his editing, Tom, he's very good at it, trying to make the technologies kind of match each other so that the piano ends up sounding the way that you meant it to sound. I was a tiny bit skeptical when Tom first started telling me about this process, just because I didn't want anything to sound mechanical or inauthentic, but it really didn't. I was just really blown away with the final product we ended up being able to get. Complete isolation between vocal and piano mics. I watched the piano play what I played back, just like watching a player piano. That was kind of spooky because it was eerie. It was like I was the one doing it, and I could even watch those tiny movements of the keys, and it was really cool. And in the end, I feel like it was really authentic, which is great because it's the best option I have found for being able to play and sing at the same time. So what you get in this album is me, just like I want to record and just like I want to be heard. Here's a little clip from If I Should Lose You, which might be my favorite track on the album.
If I should lose you, if I lost you.
Thank you so much for picking up the album for pre-release today. It'll help me to be able to chart on the iTunes charts if you've got the $10 to spare to do that. The more people that add up sales for pre-release in this week will help iTunes to kind of notice me. So I really appreciate you for doing that. And it'll be available everywhere a week from today. Thank you, everybody, for supporting my music. I appreciate it more than you know. I will see you next time on Aimee Nolte Music.